Testing, 1, 2, 3. No, I'm just kidding. Hi, my name is Hallow. Whew. I was working, doing things today. Working on things in the house. I don't have a jobby job because of my disabilities. But I'm trying to get my environment more organized and space to easily access all of this big room with the wheelchair. It's a bariatric wheelchair. It doesn't fit through conventional doorways. Back before, I guess, people got circus fat. I think what probably happened to us, our population, is people are always like, why are there so many? There's definitely modern problems, but there's medical reasons you're circus fat, and that's part of my problem. I'm officially, legitimately, medically circus fat, so... But I think what happened to people like me was we just fucking died. We're the ones that would just drop dead. Like, oh, Aunt Janie was having a great day. She got up and had coffee, and then she went out in the garden to tend to some roses and just dropped dead in the yard. You know what I mean? You hear those stories all the time growing up when your relatives, family elders, community elders start losing their people. You grow up watching it, the cycles of life. So, that's what happened to us. That's why y'all didn't know us. I have a friend that we talk about that. She's an inspiration, but she will never she doesn't do social internet. She's that kind of interesting fabulosity. She doesn't even do social media. Did you know that? There's still people on the planet, and they choose. You guys don't touch. They choose not to have any social media accounts. I actually know 3 people I could name right off the top of my head. A 4th, but he passed away last year, but... So yeah, she'd have a great show though if she did a version, this kind of show. She has been dealing with it all her adult life, pretty much. Because it happens to people for different reasons. That's the other thing the public might not understand. You get a congestive heart failure for different reasons. And I know heart disease, they've been trying their hardest to notify us. I just could think of like all the PSAs in my lifetime. We used to have television and channels about heart disease, and the National Heart Association of America advises this, advises that. So, sorry, I was asleep, so I'm all waking up and just looking around at the world around me. It's that time of day where you're going to have to close the doors, but you don't want to. I wish we lived in a world where you could leave your door open all night. Like, not unlocked, like Canada. I love y'all, but I can't do it like y'all. I'm not that trusting. I'm an American straight up that way. But just if we put a lock on it and stuff where you don't really worry about, that's not the variable. But there'd still be some kind of drama would ensue. The neighbors would say you're crazy and inviting trouble into your life, or your loved ones would be worried about your safety, and that's valid. Oh my God. And then most crimes are opportunity, by the way, if you didn't know that. So yeah, you really might invite trouble in your might be okay for 29 days, and then that 30th night, someone walked down your street on their way somewhere, and then they saw, ooh. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm happy to be doing My Name is Hallow again. I can't even begin to catch up. I have to dive in. So there's people that maybe have never seen this show before, but I've met some more great people since I started this show. It's been sporadic and non-existent for over a year. And that's what started me to be like, oh, I have got to do this episode too right now. YouTube showed me, they always show your archives. So I had looked at an archive episode YouTube showed me, and it was crazy how nothing had changed in some ways. But it was from August of 2024. So YouTube told me it was a year-old video, but I don't roll like that. I might not post it right when I make a video. I might wait a couple days for whatever reason. I don't normally. I usually within the day of posting making the content, I post it because I'm going to forget because I'm moving on to the next thing. CHF causes oxygen depletion, which affects your memory. So I understand my limitations and I understand my days are numbered. So I kind of live like that. Sometimes there's a freneticness to my wanting to just go, get things, do all these crazy things and crank out all this stuff because I don't know, I'm going to get sick again. The video I watched showed that, validated concerns I'd have. So it's funny when the universe shows you things to help validate decisions you'd already made. This week is a little rough. Getting back to the show. The nature of the show is improv, so that's why I go off the rails all the time and go on tangents and focus back and maybe never focus again and do something totally else. Up is down, down is up. I need to recite that poem from the Monkeys movie because it's really great, but I can't remember it right now. It's hard to find that movie because it's that fabulous. It's an exclusive archive cinema gem of America's cinema. If you come across it, it's valuable because you can't find it, and us monkey people will pay heavy for it. I'm not even going to tell you, maybe later when I get to know you better, how much I saved and worked extra hours at my high school job to save money to buy a VHS copy of the Monkeys movie. And I'm being intentionally mysterious by not saying the name because it's funny. It was so brilliantly conceived, implemented, executed. The soundtrack, the movie, the storyline, everything about it. So the movie totally fits its title in those contexts, but your basic response to the title of the movie, you're going to think it's a completely other movie. And they probably did that title on purpose. We'll have to ask Jack Nicholson. Jack, did you guys do that on purpose? Because Jack, I want you to know, you and Bob and the boys, you made something great. You made a cinematic masterpiece. And I've been spending my life showing that movie to my friends as I go through the years. Because my friends are always philosophers, artists, poets, musicians, music lovers, musicians, poets, artists, philosophers. Did I say that? So, yeah, Jack, you did a great job, baby. Oh my God, that movie's the best ever. But yeah, I don't drop a coin on just anything. But it's a great movie. It's hard to find. But it fit totally with what I'm talking about, with time not being linear, and you think you're going 3 steps forward, and then you go 2 steps back. So let's try it again. This week is rough. This is a lesson in why people with CHF need specific adaptive equipment for sleeping. It's not commonly known. So a lot of times when I say those statements, it's because I didn't know it myself until doctors told me. I ask millions of questions and get on some people's nerves because I want my full money's worth of my doctor visits. I will think of things that I need to ask them and make notes for the next time I see them. And I want to learn how to take care of myself so I don't have to keep going to that damn hospital. And it's not a damn hospital. It's great. They're really nice people. But I don't want to live at my hospital. I'm blessed that the hospital I go to is nice. It's all the best of living in a small town. And this doesn't happen hardly anymore. Lately too, since COVID, the medical industry was hit probably one of the hardest by COVID of all the industries, in the sense of how it completely reshaped that industry. It's a completely different industry now. There's reasons for that. So I ask a million questions, but I'm lucky to have one of my doctors, I've had the same lady since 2017. And that's a rare blessing. If you get along with your doctor, I highly recommend doing your best to stay with them, because it's cyclical. Everything's cyclical, but your medical conditions are cyclical too. And at least CHF, that's all I can speak on. It's a degenerative disease. They can't cure it. Therefore, it's all about management and how long can you live a quality life before your heart explodes. I got a new lady cardiologist. She's a little too intense for me. I need some humor. But I guess I am tired. It looked like I was falling asleep, didn't it? The way the phone went. I wasn't looking at the phone. I was looking around my house at the beautiful pictures and images. So yeah, she was intense. And seriously, because I had my soul sister with me and we talked about it later, it really sounded like she was saying how half my heart's all jacked out and enlarged. And that's what they say all along. Half of my heart is enlarged. That's why all this is going on. And she was talking about it like it's getting ready to explode any day. There's a serious stuff they want me to do that scares me, but I have to do it. And I think I've talked about it more than once, because it's something they've been talking to me about for a while. But now that my health is better, I am more open to it. So, but yeah, this is a hard week. This is a week. It's interesting that I would start the year off with this episode, because this is the week that, or really kick it off. I might have had like a pre-episode thing. This week is a reminder of why it's cyclical and you can't take your health for granted. So I've been doing fantastic since the terrible things that happened to me last year, and being in hospitals for 3 months last year. Not able to walk or stand for 3 months last year. So I'm gold now. Stay gold, Johnny. Stay gold. So, I can walk, I can stand. Not for long. That's why I have my wheelchair. That's why I have my walker. That's why they call it adaptive equipment. It's helping you adapt to get around in your environment as independently as possible. Another aspect of that is sleep. Sleep is critical when you're a heart patient, to get it, plenty of it, rest, good rest, quality rest. Most heart patients can't tolerate laying flat on a bed. I thought I was a freak or whatever, because I'm always being told I am. But yeah, so no, my doctor said no. What I was told is, because I was worried about, am I supposed to be getting myself back into a bed now that I'm healthier? and they were saying it's not that. They don't really care where you sleep as long as you sleep. It's restful sleep. If that's going to be an electric recliner that lifts your legs up and kicks you back like a bed, which is what that's where I'm at now. I couldn't tolerate all the way flat when my journey began. But my improvements are so great now that I can tolerate being flat. And that was happening to me during the hospital visits last year when I started dropping the weight. I could turn my own body and lay flat on the bed, and I haven't been able to do that for years, lay flat on a bed or move my own body in a bed. When you're laying down, like how you move from side to side. I was a tosser all my life. Ha! You could put some extra meanings on that, Anglophile fans out there. So what I mean by that is I never slept peacefully. I've always a restless sleeper. The restless leg syndrome jokes on Saturday Night Live really resonated with me. But I curl up, I move to one side, I move to the other side, I lay on my stomach and put my hands under the pillow like a cradle of the head. I do everything but lay flat on my back and lay on my back when I sleep before all this started. And now the only thing I could do is lay, and not flat, but just be sitting in a chair, lay on my back sleeping. It's so strange how life takes you, twists and turns. But yeah, they said it's okay, don't worry about it. You have plenty of other things to stress about, little girl. It's okay. So I like my doctors. Most of them, 95%, I like them. I had one dude that was really scary. But the ladies came back on shift and straightened that out. My lady doctors. So I've gone on and on. I have to take off my... Oh, it feels like forever. I'm not used to doing this show. I'm used to doing shorter shows right now. And I'm feeling a little worn out, so I might not get to my points. But the goal is to get this show kicked off again. It's supposed to be at least weekly. I ramble about what is it like to have congestive heart failure in today's society and navigating the medical system and the different experiences and processes you go through, because it's a lot for a layperson. I work in the caregiving field, so I'm used to working with doctors and nurses in my job, because our goal, we have a mutual goal of providing services to an individual with developmental disabilities, so that each person has their own team, caregiver, natural supports, whatever medical situations they have. Some people they're young and healthy, they don't have any doctors. But one guy had a best friend that he wanted him to come to his meetings, and that is always on the table, but a lot of clients don't realize it, and then a lot of clients they just aren't interested. And this dude was fabulous. He could come to his friends' team meetings head to toe. Like, we're talking Morris Day level fashion of fierceness, head to toe suits. It's nice to watch people living their lives and pursuing their dreams and achieving them. And that's a big part of what you do when you provide residential services to people. Huge part of it. It's you learning what areas of life do they need help with, and you let them guide you on how to help. Okay, so I did that. That's what I did for a living. That's how I chose to contribute to society for my adult life. I started doing it in 1990 Jesus. No, sorry. I can be more precise. Especially when things happen at Halloween time, I'm going to remember that for the rest of my life. It was October of 1992 is when my first direct care position was in a group home in Indianapolis for a beautiful company that doesn't exist anymore. It was part of the original model when this industry began in the 60s in America. And they're one of the top people in the states in the country in America. To have the largest, the most amount of companies and houses and stuff. And they had a pure, beautiful 60s based recycle, give back, pay it forward philosophy, cultural corporate philosophy, where you didn't even feel like it was corporate, family owned business. So yeah, my first placement was a geriatric group home. Everybody was older but one lady. So I worked graveyard shift because that's what I like is nighttime. And I didn't know if I was going to be able to do that kind of work. I was encouraged by my soul brother to go. He was already doing it in Muncie when we were going to college. And it changed my whole life. It's part of why I stayed in Indiana, too. I found a job, a stable, steady income that I felt good. And I knew I was helping people. I wasn't working for the man, doing soulless, empty labor, which I'm sorry if you feel stuck in that. I've had times in my life where I've had to do it too. That's why I know the difference. I highly encourage employment opportunities that provide you with not having to think about yourself at all and you're helping somebody else. You will blossom spiritually as a human being in these type of work if you take it the right way and do it the right way and do right by your people and don't avoid all temptations of exploitation, because everywhere we go in this world, there's temptations of exploitation. Exploitation is so crazy. But yeah, these guys need people in their corner that are going to be honest. They're not your children. They're grown people trying to live life too, like you and me. So it's the greatest job ever. I can't say it enough. But yeah, that's where I started out. I worked graveyard. So when you work graveyard in a group home, your primary duty is cleaning the house. So group homes tend to be large homes. They can max out at 8 people. So that's at least 4 bedrooms. I've never seen a provider cram 3 or more. If we had a scandalous provider like that, the case managers and providers would suss them out and the state would deal with that. They're not going to let people live like that. So that's why the homes are so big, because everybody's got their own bedroom and or they share with a roommate. And so your job is to clean it at night, but people are asleep, so you don't go in their rooms. You got to clean the house out, common areas, house. So the staff's duty is to help teach and work with them to clean their own homes in the daytime when they're awake, like you and I would do in our homes. That's what the job's all about. What do you do in your home? Well, that's what you're helping someone with developmental disabilities do in their home. That's your job. It's a beautiful job when you do it right. Yeah. I could tell you the address right now. I could tell you the street and the address it's on. I know exactly where it is in Indianapolis. But that's HIPAA stuff, so no. But yeah, it's still there. I know the company that bought my company probably still owns it. I just found out, well, no, that would give it away. I just found big news about them. It was shocking for our industry. But it's not shocking that, don't worry about anybody being hurt. It's just for when you're an old timer and see shifts and changes in your industry. That's what I mean by it, what is happening. It's a kind of a parallel to like when Walmart started going across the country and either snapping up or running out the mom and pops groceries and businesses and stuff. That's kind of what's happening in our field with the model of what a provider company looks like. And then there's a whole other side that I'm a part of old timers from the early days that miss the intimacy group home. You know who your boss is. You actually know the people that own your company and stuff. And they say hi to your clients. Like, oh, wow. That's how it's supposed to be. Companies shouldn't be so big the clients don't even know the owners. That's not right. Good night.